in math class and you're bored because they have them every day. So you subconsciously decide to look out of a window because you're in search of finding something more interesting and worthwhile. Then you start to think of what you should do when you get home and how long it is until the end of the day. And so consequently now, you can't wait. But when the school day finally draws to an end, and now you find yourself at home, you realize there's nothing to do here either, and suddenly that same feeling of boredom creeps up on you and you just can't stand it. So you start to look for things to do at the moment, and when I say you, I really mean Milo from the Phantom Tollbooth by Norton Juster. But one day, you're saved when you arrive home and find yourself reading a note. For Milo, who has plenty of time, one genuine turnpike tollbooth easily assembled at home, and for the use by those who have never traveled in lands beyond. You think that you might give it a try, so you hop into your car, and you drive through this tollbooth to what is quite a different world. Suddenly, you get very confused, as any normal person would, and decide to acquire some information. So next you drive off to a place where the creatures do there only but waste time. A perfect idea as far as you're concerned. But then, a scary watchdog comes along to make sure that no one is wasting any time. So together, you head off into a land known as Dictionopolis, where he tells you his sad story, that all of us seem to have. Once there, you go to a marketplace where you meet a gentleman sort of fellow known as the Humbug. Although he is always insistent that he's right, he is always wrong, like most of us. This is where the journey starts. Much like any other story, you discover that this mysterious place has no longer been at its best, and the two princesses, Rhyme and Reason, are missing. That's when you decide that it's your destiny to fulfill the land how it was when the two left. Will Milo talk and the Humbug rescue the princesses? Or will the book have a rather sour ending? You won't know until you read it, but if you're like me, your elementary school teacher made you read this book already, and you probably already know what happens. But there's something more to this book. It's not just one of those, you have to read this book in school kind. For me, this book was a game changer. It was a fascinating read, since I usually cannot tolerate words on page for more than 5 minutes. And also, I look at the world a little bit differently now. Since this book, I found my math class more interesting, which is really something probably none of us can imagine. And now I start to really contemplate the use of time. A lot of us might say that we've wasted time, but what in that are we actually wasting? Through reading this book, I've almost grasped it. Most of us, like Milo, get easily bored or just waste time. But a tollbooth does not appear to each and every one of us. So what will you do with our time? Perhaps you decide to crap open the Phantom Tollbooth, and maybe just you'll find out.